So I just took my second practice MCAT. Now I did something more different than I did on my first practice MCAT. Rather than doing every single question, guessing on the ones I don't know, I just left the ones I didn't know blank. And the results? Let's just say they were a bit worse than I expected. With that being said, let's get into this, what I felt about this exam, what steps I did, and what I'm going to do next. My name is Aryan. I'm trying to get into Harvard Med School, trying to get a 522 plus on the MCAT. Let's dive in. Okay, here we are. So this was the first MCAT I did. This was the practice test I took during the start of December after just 1 week of soft prep. So I took all of these scores, I put it into this MCAT score calculator. I got my final score of 504. From there, what I did was I analyzed what mistakes I made. I realized I made a lot of mistakes in biochem, especially because I did not know what the amino acids were. And so my steps were to start memorizing those. So I started out with Anki decks. So, right, as you can see here, these are the Anki decks I did. I took the amino acid Anki decks just to memorize the amino acids. And I took this Pearl King Anki deck for the entire MCAT. This would just give me a general idea of the stuff I need to know for the whole MCAT. Now, I've been doing this pretty diligently. I basically average about 109 cards, around 40-ish, 50-ish from here, and then around 10 to 20-ish from amino acids. And I've been doing this for 32 days. As you can see, this is my streak, perfectly done here. And so with all of that, I was also doing Magoosh on the side. As you can see here, I got the subscription. I've been doing one cars lesson every single day. You can see here it says day 23. I just started a bit late. However, I was doing this pretty consistently as well. I've been doing psychological and social. I've been trying to do the biological and biochemical portions. However, I'm still a bit slow on that. And that was basically the prep I did for this current test. Now, this was my current score. I got a 496. As I said at the start of the video, I did something different. I left a lot of questions blank because rather than guessing on the ones I didn't know, I just left them blank. Now, full disclaimer, this was definitely a harder test than when I took here. For this one, I found it far easier. This one definitely more on the difficult side. So let's go through each one step by step. Now, for chemical and physical foundations of biochemical systems, I got a 36 out of 59. Now, this translates to a score of 125, which is very similar to what I got here, 38 out of 59, and this is also a 125. So in terms of chem and phys, I actually did better because here I left questions blank that I didn't know, but here I basically guessed on quite a few. Now, it's important to note that I had a pretty good rate of questions that I did know that were right. So I got a 36 out of 39 on the questions that I attempted, which is a pretty good score, which means I know the concepts I know, and the concepts I don't know, I basically don't get them right. And then in terms of cars, I attempted every single question. Cars you can do in general, so same here. This is just 2 wrong, this one's 6 wrong. I found this test a little bit harder, as well as I took this at a different time, so I was a bit groggy. I didn't really know the direction. But this was much better. This one, it felt like luck. This one, it felt more like skill. As you can see here, my average time per question was 1 minute 25. Here was 1 minute. So I did take longer on these questions, but I felt more solid about it despite getting more wrong. So this skill score is 129. I'm kind of satisfied with the score. I'm not really mad about it, but I do wish I could have done a little bit better considering I got 100% the first time around. As you can see here, 132 out of 132. In terms of biological systems and biochemical foundations, I totally screwed this one up. As you can see here, I guessed all of them. I got 22 out of 59. My average time per question was 11 seconds, and that made sense because I did guess a lot. Here was 36 because I did those 9 questions, and I left the 50 blank because I didn't know them. But in this one, the key thing was the questions I screwed up were mainly related to amino acids. So my thought process was, okay, if I know what the amino acids are, I can probably get stuff better. Here, there weren't much related to amino acids. So a lot of these questions I simply did not know the answer to. And what I felt by the end of it was, even if I knew the concept, and some of the concepts I did know, it was something else that I didn't really understand the question itself in order to do it. So let me show you exactly what a biological question would look like. So I'm going to put practice mode really quick. So as you can see, during glucose metabolism, which of the following phases occur exclusively during the mitochondria? So I should know this, right? I learned this in Bio 2. However, all of these words just seem so random to me. I don't really see the connection between oxidative phosphorylation and mitochondria. They're words that seem abstract and they don't connect in my head. Of course, I got a 4.0 when it came to Gen Bio 2, so the question now is, how do I improve my MCAT score? So my thought process was I need to learn how to answer these questions. In psychological, social, and biological foundations, a lot of these were not common sense questions. A lot of these required a lot more termage, and with the MCAT deck I've been doing, so this Anki deck right here, it had saved me. I would have otherwise got probably maybe a 15 out of 59 if I did not do this Anki deck, but since I've been doing it pretty consistently, I knew stuff like Erikson's stages, Kohlberg's conventional morality, or like stuff with Sigmund Freud. So that was really helpful. This part was definitely the harder part compared to this one. This one was mainly based on common sense. While I did guess a little bit, I understood the majority of it, so it was pretty simple. Here, I don't think guessing really helped. I also left stuff blank that I did not know, which was about 9. I definitely had a lower score here, 38 out of 50, because I tried to use my common sense, thinking it was a common sense question. It, in reality, required more knowledge. So, with all of that, I ended up getting a 496 compared to my previous score of 504. Now the question is, what should I do to improve it? Okay, so 496, the biggest cause of my lower score is this biological section. I got a score of 118, which is the lowest score you can get. Basically, you have a 2% percentile rank, which means 98% of people are above me, and I got a score of 9 out of 59. This clearly sticks out as a sore thumb. Now, as I said, I don't know how to answer the biological questions. That is the issue here. So what I've been currently doing was just this MCAT work here, as well as these flashcards, okay? So these Perkin flashcards. Now these flashcards have been particularly useful in psychology, and now they're slowly shifting over to biology. As you can see here, there's about 6,634. I've only done 640. So with that being said, we're slowly shifting over into biology. The cards were before covering like Kohlberg or Erikson. Now they're covering stuff like the formation of the eye, light hits retinal, retinal changes conformation, releases transducin, etc. So I'm sort of looking forward to this direction. But those were my 2 only approaches. I don't think that's enough. At least the speed's not enough, because I want to reach at least a 507 by next month. The reason is by February, I would have about 6 months before my test, which is on August. So with that 6-month gap, I'm trying to achieve at least a 507 so I can start the Kaplan course, which allows me to get its guarantee because I would have 2 points of leniency, so I can start that Kaplan course and get a 505 for its guarantee. So with that being said, I need to add more. So let's look at this question really fast. As you can see here, this was the first question. During glucose catabolism, which of the following processes occur exclusively in mitochondria? This is a strict Bio 2 question. When I look at this question, I can't connect oxidative phosphorylation to mitochondria. I can't connect it to anything. All these terms seem vague to me. What that is telling me is I need a refresh on the concepts. And for that, I have a simple process. I'm currently TAing for Bio 2, which the majority of MCAT is based on. By TAing for it, I'll be able to attend the classes and I can also answer students' questions, giving me a better understanding. On top of that, I also need to understand how these questions are asked. So for that, I'm using Kaplan Bio book. As you can see here, I'm going to use this book right here. Now, I haven't bought this book. I'm not planning to buy it either. I'm just renting it from the library. What this allows me to do is just scan through the materials, because eventually, when I take the Kaplan course, they will send this to me. So I'm going to make that, and I'm going to continue what I'm doing currently, which is this Magoosh and the flashcards. With all of that, it gives me about a 4-pronged approach: this Kaplan book, this Magoosh stuff, the flashcards, as well as TAing. And so that is my plan for improving biological and biochemical foundations. Moving further for chemical and physical foundations, currently the things that I did not know were mainly related to Biochem 2, as well as some physics concepts. For that, I'm currently taking physics, and I'm also currently taking Biochem 2, so I believe with this and just my Magoosh practice, the shortcomings over here will slowly be improved upon. For critical reasoning analysis, I think I've been doing pretty well on that. I think it's just a matter of keeping yourself on your toes and practicing more, so I'll continue doing 1 passage per day on Magoosh. My goal is to finish this by the end of the month. And then after that, for psychological, social, and biological foundations, I also have seen great improves in there, so I'll continue the same strategy. Magoosh plus the flashcards. With that being said, that's my plan on sort of increasing this 496. I have a clear goal of trying to hit a 507 by the start of February when I'm taking my next practice test. For my next practice test, I'm planning on retaking this one. I kind of want to see where I've went, and then the practice test after that will be retaking this one. So that's my overall plan in the directions I want to go with, and I believe all of this is pretty achievable. I've been spending the same amount of time pretty much every day doing the MCAT, and with my class schedule, it's definitely a plausible and definitely a goal I can do. With that being said, I hope you all are doing well. If this all inspired you, or if it's really good, or if you want to just see the journey, make sure to subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any criticisms, any questions. Free to answer everything. But yeah, hope you all are doing well, and take care.